Staffordshire County Council is proud to be leading the way in improving social care for adults. Care in Staffordshire is progressing, changing and becoming more tailored so that people can lead more independent and fulfilling lives.
Well, Staffordshire County Council are proud of the fact that we're seen as national leaders. We're developing the market. There's the Community Wellbeing Fund, which is growing dozens and dozens of new, very local services. We're really putting people at the centre of the way that they live their lives. We're really putting people with the ability to choose, with options. And yes, I think Staffordshire is, should we say, well ahead of the game.
When Wallace Monaghan from Newcastle was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, he and his wife Jane both knew that their lives would never be the same again. However, the use of the council's direct payment scheme, aimed at allowing people to make their own choices of a tailored care system, has helped the couple to fund and enjoy a variety of activities.
Initially, the fear was that things were going to change quickly. In my mind, you think about Alzheimer's and you think about the problem as it is, at its worst. And it was that I'd got to get to grips with. I think I can honestly say that as you go through the illness, it's almost like I've gone through a bereavement. That's just how it feels. Because slowly I've lost the person that I knew. The budget enables us to do things that we wouldn't be able to do under normal circumstances. The day opportunities will be things like going to Trenton Gardens, for example, and we can go in at any time throughout the year. It's very useful, that, and it's quite a change, and the gardens are lovely at different times throughout the year.
Mr Monaghan's consultant says these types of activities, helped through the use of direct payments, are doing more for Wallace's health than anything else.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh yes, yeah. My favourite place, I suppose.
When the consultant asked me what kind of activities we were doing, he thought it was absolutely marvellous that we were doing so much, because he felt that he wouldn't be as well as he was if he wasn't doing the activities that we were doing. With the help of the personal budget, it's enabled us to live life to the absolute full. Without it, I don't think we'd have been able to do any of the things that we can do. And it's made a big difference to coping, actually, and dealing with the everyday living with Alzheimer's.
Like Wallace and Jane, Julie Cutts and her husband Tony also benefited from the use of direct payments. Sadly, Tony has since passed away. However, Julie explains how they still managed to live life to the full and savour every precious moment.
I really just couldn't see Tony fitting that well into a day centre. I felt that he was better off with me. He felt safe and comfortable with me, but I wanted him to enjoy life to the full. I suppose it was my good fortune that someone turned up on my doorstep, someone I barely knew, and said, "I think I can be of help to you." And it suddenly started to open doors for me when I learned about direct payments. And I just wanted to put it to the best possible use for Tony's sake that I could. If you wonder what I did, it was all the things that we'd always done, but more of them because there was no time to lose. And if Tony enjoyed himself, so did I.
Tony and Julie enjoyed themselves thoroughly in a wide range of activities, including meals with the family, small breaks and days out. Although the disease was unexpected, direct payments helped them to cope better.
We went to Cornwall with friends and had a wonderful week, and I felt surrounded by people who were being helpful, and life felt relatively normal. It wasn't normal, but it felt normal. That wouldn't have been possible It was a different life, but it was a good life because of direct payments. The joy was still there in doing things that he looked forward to and got something out of.
The two biggest forms of help for a carer of someone with dementia or Alzheimer's are to receive plenty of information and guidance, as well as time to themselves, a short break from the constant care that Alzheimer's and dementia sufferers need. Thankfully, Staffordshire recognises this importance, especially through groups like Maze, the monthly Alzheimer's support evening.
I was married to a man for 56 years who suffered with Alzheimer's in the last 6 years of his life. And to begin with, I was so confused and frightened. In fact, I was terrified because I knew he was being cared for. But at the end of my visits, I left there and I was just lost. And I was standing one day quietly and I was crying, and suddenly a pair of arms came around me. And there was a big hug, and it was Daphne Sharp.
The problem is, if you've got Alzheimer's, it's the cared for that is being looked after. The carers aren't, basically. They're told to go away and learn to deal with the illness.
I know it's an awful thing to say, but even the doctors and people like that were, I don't think they understood how we felt. I suppose they tried to give us information, but
it's hard.
It's hard.
So our group actually helps people who have got the illness, their carers, and also people who've lost loved ones. They're the people with the knowledge, and they're the people that can share their experiences with others in this group. And that's very, very powerful.
Mace is a tremendous organisation. It helps people with dementia, and really importantly their carers, to get a social life, not by separating one from the other, but by actually coming out together, joining other people in a social environment, enjoying themselves, offering each other support, sharing ideas, sharing good practice. A good old knees up, but with a really important aspect as far as the social interaction is concerned.
Tonight, Maze are celebrating their second anniversary with a party, and just by seeing how everyone is enjoying themselves, it's a clear indication on how much the group means to its members.
You can't imagine that it can affect you. We had such a wonderful life together. We travelled, and he was a very educated man. I never dreamt that he could change so much. You know, not to know either me or his family. He didn't know anybody, who they were.
Because they provide us with information and support, you can certainly say that we're as cared for now, perhaps, as we were caring for our loved ones, because they're caring for us and helping us through our present situations.
It always gives you hope. There's never need to be alone again. No more, it's just there. Everyone has hope once they meet the nice people.
The Mayor's group has given not only me, but all these people that you see, so much support to live and hope and be cheerful for the future. God bless Maze.
Karen Phillips, a mental health nurse from Cannock, has recently formed a new gardening group that, like Maze, allows those with Alzheimer's to meet others in a similar situation.
My name's Burton, Douglas Burton.
And I'm Margaret, I'm Doug's wife and Doug's carer. And about 6 months ago he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He got very withdrawn and he didn't take it very well, did you?
No, I didn't at the beginning, no.
My father's 76, has been in Sheffield most of his life with my mum. Mum's still alive, thank God. And they wanted to be closer to myself, only child, so we chose about 2 years ago to move them to Cannock. It's just really over the last probably 24 months I've noticed differences in my dad, where obviously we had some problems there, and that's obviously where we are at the moment.
It was Karen that suggested that Doug should perhaps be interested in this when she realised that he's always done outdoor activities. He's always had outdoor pursuits and activities.
I think it's important on two levels. It's really important for them as individuals to have a routine, so they know every Monday and every Thursday something happens, they go somewhere. But also for the carers, that they know they've got something, they've got time that they can go and do something for themselves. And the individuals, hopefully they'll see that they're doing something useful. They're not just, as some of the people expressed to me, sitting around in a room staring at each other.
The group's garden helps to stimulate sufferers, getting them involved, but it also allows a break for carers, providing a service that they know their loved ones are not only enjoying, but are also safe from harm.
I think it's a great idea for my dad to be able to come and meet some other people with the same problems in a confined area, but it's secure. I think it's important. I think the most important thing is to give mum some respite, and that's the idea. I think we're attracted to this.
I'm not used to being at home, see, I was working, but now I've finished work, so this, if it gets me out of the way of that'll be all right.
Give you a little break.
Give us a break. Yeah.
Yes, I am very interested. I've always had allotments all my life, off and on, or various times, and done gardening because it's something I like to get involved with. It's something where you can switch off and you don't have to worry. If you haven't got company, you can find a big interest in doing garden work, things like that. And I like to be involved with it, you know.
I think because they've got a sense of purpose, they've got somewhere to go to, they're doing something, they can see it grow. They're going to sell the produce at the end of it, so they can take some pride in it, and they're going to continue to use the skills they've used all their lives.
Ex-serviceman Jimmy Ray from Mayfield lives for tomorrow despite being paralysed and wheelchair-bound. The use of direct payments has seen him whitewater rafting, rock climbing and skydiving. More importantly for Jimmy, the use of direct payments allows him to meet other members of Blesma, a charity for other ex-servicemen and women who have lost limbs.
In Blesma, you talk to people who are in the same circumstances as you. And there you do all the activities. We have an activities week, and we either have it at Blackpool or Crieff, and it's an excellent idea. But we wouldn't be able to do it if we didn't have the funding from social services. Well, the difference is that I can choose where I go and what I'm going to do. I decided that I would try and do as much as I could. So I tried skydiving, rock climbing, abseiling, whitewater rafting, shooting. You know, I think the movies and going out for meals a bit timid actually, so the funding really does help. I mean, I must admit I couldn't do what I do without funding. You know, because if I go skydiving or anything like that, it costs me quite a bit for a plane, and I've got to get somebody to pack my parachute. Otherwise I wouldn't be going.
John Hutchinson from Roaster was forced to retire early with illness. It was something that he and his family initially struggled to come to terms with, especially after being such an active individual.
10 years ago, I never believed that I would be in this situation. I was what I thought a healthy man, international sales manager, working in a different country every month. So I led a really, really active life. Then I was hit with the dreaded heart attack. After the heart attack, I was diagnosed with diabetic neuropathy, which really means that the nerve endings in my legs and my feet are destroyed. But you have to learn to live with it. Now, 2.5, 3 years ago, I was losing that ability. Sitting hours at home, not going out, not really wanting to go out. I finally got in touch with Staffordshire Social Services because I thought they may be able to help me get some, excuse me a minute.
I think they really have helped, haven't they?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, so much, yeah.
Thankfully, John has managed to put his active life back on track, where he now uses direct payments from the council to fund a wide range of activities, as well as getting help where he needs it via his carers Nick and Mark.
I've known John for, crikey, close on 15 years now, and sort of in that time I've seen a lot of good times, I've seen a lot of bad times. With the direct payments system, I think it's allowed John to have a lot more independence again. It's given him sort of, I don't know, it's almost like a new lease of life.
With my carers, with Nick and Mark, absolute fabulous guys. Not only do they do what carers do, but they've actually pulled me into their circle of friends. So they've actually started to re-socialise me.
One of the best things, even for myself, not just because I do a bit of caring, a bit of care work, is the fact that we can get out and we can do fly fishing, and it's what we like to do. John loves it, I love doing it with him, and it's just great fun as well. Being able to get out there and just have a good time. I think the direct payment schemes, well, I know the direct payment scheme has given John a new lease of life. It's enabled him to get out there, get himself re-established within the community, and it's nice to see it, to be honest. It's a fantastic scheme, if you ask me. It really is.
So yeah, the way that direct payments has worked, it's absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Do you have a better quality of life now?
Oh, 1,000 times better. And that isn't an exaggeration. Because I don't think without it, I'd be sat here now.
New personalised packages of care are stimulating, tailored to the individual and their lifestyle, giving them a better quality of life, more control, and allowing them to progress.
I can only reiterate the care that we do at home. He's got the familiarity, he's comfortable, and he's got the stimulation by going out. Everything's much more normal.
But I'm very grateful for them. If it wasn't for the money from East Staffordshire, I just wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing.
Well, Mace has given me a wonderful quality of life now. I've met so many new people. I'm repeating myself, but it was wonderful. I'd forgotten how to live socially with anybody. I'd forgotten all about it.
Staffordshire in the future, care-wise, will mean choice. It'll mean services that are designed and supported around the individual. So probably no two bits of support will be the same. It's around trying to fill in the gaps for people, trying to maintain as normal a life as possible. Treating people absolutely as individuals, having respect for them, and trying to aspire them to take note of their challenges, but not have it stop their lives. Make sure they still live an active, fulfilling and enjoyable life.
For more information on how to live a happier, healthier and more independent life, go to www.staffordshirecares.info or call an advisor on 0300 111 8010.